And then I said, that's not an exhibit in the Natural History Museum. That's my mother. Welcome to the fucking show, everybody.
Poor Nick's mom.
It's a Taboo Tater Tots Club podcast, if you can't read.
Where we talk about anything that interests us, whether it be politics, religion, or just generalized bullfuckness.
Today I am drinking Trump piss.
My favorite kind of piss. Actually, I take that back. My favorite piss is from a whale.
Your iron is on.
That's why it was smelling shit.
His soldering iron was on the floor and it was just on. That's super cool. We got that on camera. We're only a minute in and oh my god, we had a fucking disaster. Accidentally unplugged the USB hub that has the mics and the cameras plugged in them, so
And the keyboard,
and the mouse, so that was fun. How has life been treating you, Morgan?
It was good, and then it was shit.
I mean, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, I got my two new games in the mail, and then bullshit happened. Literally 30 seconds before we were about to start recording.
Yeah.
As you know, obviously, because you were here.
Because I wasn't. Because you told me to mind my own business and I walked away. And I didn't hear any of it.
Well, I didn't say anything about the actual situation. So.
Oh, well, okay.
But let's just say someone told me something that wasn't true.
Mm-hmm. I caught that.
And the lie was worse than just telling me the truth.
Oh.
And this particular person has told me worse things.
Mm-hmm.
In confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And it never went anywhere. So why the fuck lie now? And that's what I'm pissed about.
Mm-hmm. We can talk more about that off camera, but yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, I was going to say the kind of person that she is and the kind of program that she's in for the reason that she's in it, I really don't know why you would ever trust anything that they would say.
Normally, I can decipher.
Uh-huh.
Because I've known her going on 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I can normally decipher shit. But when this particular lie came out, she had been crying. Which she doesn't really do. So I kind of took it as this is a fucking serious deal.
I see.
And
let's not go further into that.
And I just didn't read it into it. Because again, it seemed like a serious deal.
Yeah.
So. But the reality is, the fucking lie would have been less complicated. Because the truth, holy fuck, you need a fucking, what are those things called? Where you like connect the dots with the rubber bands.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You see them on like detective shows and shit.
Just pinboards?
Yeah, you put like the stabby things in.
The thumbtacks? And then they're not rubber bands, they're strings.
Oh, well.
That's where I got confused. I'm like, rubber bands? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, never mind. Anyway. You don't need to go any further into that.
You need one of those just to fucking follow the fucking truth.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, I have been in dire need of an enema.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds sexy.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it, I guess. If it's for medicinal use or recreational use. An enema is when you squirt liquid up your butt to try and flush yourself out. Well, people get like coffee enemas to like
I no longer want this.
to energize himself really quick. But no, I've been very backed up, and come to find out, it's probably because of how much fucking diabetic medications I've been taking. Because I've been trying to increase it slowly so I can like actually level out my sugar, and I've been taking like a dose and a half of one medication, 2 doses of another medication, and like almost double the amount of insulin that I was taking at start, all within like maybe a month and a half, which is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I have noticed that there has been a drastic change, like a steadily drastic change.
In what?
You,
Me?
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I've been having a lot more energy lately because my sugar's been normal, like normal-ish comparatively, I guess. But I mean, I haven't taken any diabetic medication or insulin the past 2 days because I have been so incredibly stopped up. Like I am shooting liquid hot ass and like no substance, just water, and I can feel myself like there's something up there that's just not moving.
Well,
And
that's good. I can feel myself too. See, I'm real.
Yeah. And that pizza we had last night, all of it back up. All of it. It was yeah, it was really bad. And I've had nothing but like yogurt and Gatorade and meal replacement shakes today, except for the last 2 slices of pizza, which that might fuck me in the ass later, but I mean, they were really good, so I had to finish it.
So we are talking about that.
About what?
The bleh.
Throwing up?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
There's been things that I thought you were gonna bring up, and then I'm a fucking tard.
A little bit, but that's okay.
So, anyways, Taco, when you were in there the first night, he was so fucking worried.
I know, I heard him like sniffing at the door and a little bit, and
then he would look at me and be like, Dad, you know,
like, help him, what the fuck?
Like he just wanted help.
Yeah. But no, last night, because when I was throwing up here, that was 2 nights ago. But last night, when I was throwing up, it was like sulfuric acid or something. Like it burned, and after you heave, you to try and catch your breath, and like there was like gas coming from the toilet from my puke, and I couldn't fucking breathe. Like I felt like I was being choked out. So that was really, really fun.
Are you sure the water system isn't fucked?
No,
Because the water here is disgusting.
the water in the toilet was fine. Actually, I had just cleaned my toilet like 2 or 3 nights before.
No, what I'm saying is like it's the city water to blame.
No, it was my stomach because it was sour and it burned coming up like worse than normal puke does. And yeah, and it stunk so bad, like worse than normal puke. Like there was a chemical or something in my vomit that should not have been there. And today I actually pooped with a little bit of it was like chunky soup. Like there was some substance to it. So I'm happy. I haven't pooped since then. But I got this stuff cuz there's milk of magnesia, and then there's stool softeners, and then there's Miralax, which is what I've been taking the past week or two. Well, it's been more than that since Christmas Day. But they gave me
that's in relation to the not the hemorrhoids.
just the being backed up.
The thing that's been going around.
Oh, it could have been that. It could have been a combination of the two. I have no idea.
Because that was around the same time.
Yeah. But they gave me something at the hospital when I went like the first of the month. It was probably like the first of the second of January that I went to the hospital for it. And they gave me this citrus stuff. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's like clear liquid and it just tastes a little bit sweet, but mostly sour. That flushed me the fuck out. And I'm like, oh, I should probably find some of that when I was at Walmart earlier. And I bought 2 bottles just in case, and they were only $2 each. So that's pretty cool. But I'm gonna try that. Like as soon as we're done recording here, I'm gonna try that. And in about 2 or 3 hours, I almost guarantee you I will be glued to that toilet seat.
How do you plan on getting home? Are you just gonna drive my toilet?
No, I'm gonna probably have to make a spiral cork type thing out of toilet paper and shove it up there and then drive home so nothing leaks out. We'll call this episode the shitty episode.
That is so fitting.
Yes.
For our first topic.
Yeah.
Which, are you done?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, moving on to our first shitty topic, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you believe in God?
Why do I believe in God?
Yes. It doesn't seem crazy to you that there's some big dude sitting on a cloud?
So I can go about this one of a couple ways. I can either go through like my actual internal logic. I can go through my family upbringing, or I can go through my own experiences. And do a little bit of each, but like
what I'm more so asking is like, what makes you as yourself believe that there is a giant dude on a cloud pushing us around like little toy cars?
So I don't believe that's what God is.
Oh?
No, I believe that God is... Oh, we're gonna get serious this episode. Okay.
Now you see why I didn't want to tell you.
Okay. I get it.
So...
Oh boy, this is actually a really good one. If you actually really want to know, this is a really good topic.
So do you take your fucking bullshit responses back? This motherfucker...
A little bit. I was like, I'm not hitting record until you at least give me a hint of what we're talking about.
And I had to come up with something that wouldn't give it away, but that would give him a hint. My
You could have
hint...
just said religion in general.
Yeah, but that's kind of the, you know... At least with the Book of Mormon, we could be making fun of the Mormons again. Or...
I suppose.
We could be beating up the Mormons.
This episode should be called Shit and Jesus.
Shit and maybe true shit.
So I believe what God is.
I want a disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
We're friends.
Yes, we are friends. We're going to disagree. We're probably going to call each other dumbasses a few times.
But nothing here that is said
I
here.
respect that he does not believe in any organized religion or any, like, concrete deity. Oh my gosh, we're going to pause it real quick. Okay, recording
Fucking
again.
bullshit.
Yeah, we got a call. Or he got a call.
And it in relation to the fucking bullshit situation I was talking about earlier.
Anyway, I can respect that Morgan does not believe in any organized religion or any, like, concrete deity.
So for those that don't know, what's a deity? Did I say that right?
Like a higher power type of thing.
So I do believe in a higher power. It's just not in the same aspect.
Well, you believe in Mother Nature.
Yes, I believe Mother Nature and I believe in karma.
But that's not like a concrete, like set in stone, this is what this is type of a deity. Like you can't nail down Mother Nature with a few describing sentences.
Mother Nature is pure. Mother Nature is beautiful. Mother Nature is all around us.
Mother Nature has giant bazongas.
See, I just threw a fucking steak in your plate.
But I mean, like, there aren't like actual like organized religions around Mother Nature. There's no like
Oh,
one set of beliefs around Mother Nature. You can't
actually,
really.
there are organized religions
Are there?
based around Mother Nature. Yeah, they're not. They're not as established as Christianity or Mormonism or Catholicism.
Catholicism.
That
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word. Or Judaism.
Good job.
I was just gonna
I
leave
thought
it.
you were going to say Jewishism.
Or even autism. I'm not shitting you. There was a thing going around in the autism community years ago now, where people were wanting to start a religion based on the autistic mind.
Should call it autism, spelled AWE-tism. Because it's awesome. Autism.
And I used to make the joke that we should make a book and call it the Book of Morgan.
I kind of like that. Not gonna lie, that's kind of clever. Anyway.
So, anyways, there are religions based around it.
Okay.
It's just not an established, like, popular.
There's no church. There's no tax exempt type of church. Unlike the religion of the Jedi. There is a Jedi religion that is tax exempt.
I know.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Oh yeah, we have.
I don't remember what episode that was.
Probably the first couple.
Yeah.
That sounds like one of the things that we talked about the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, so I respect your religion, even though I think there's some inaccuracies, I guess you could say.
Okay.
I don't agree with everything.
Okay.
Which is fair.
So.
But I respect you as a person, regardless of religious synagogues.
Religious tisms.
My brain tried connecting dots between religion and blank and synagogues.
I think a synagogue is a type of church. I'm not sure.
Or like a monument or something,
like
but
there are various types of Christianity. There are Protestants and Catholics and Baptists and Mormons are a type of Christian technically.
Sadly.
And everybody has their own version of what they should do in response to what God has called us to do. We all worship the same God. Even Islam, it technically worships the same God.
Yeah, because Allah is...
It just means God. In
Arabic. It immediately translates into English as God.
Yeah. So my specific type of Christianity you could call Judeo-Christian. It's a little bit leaning towards Protestant, but less so. I don't know how else to describe it.
Okay, but what are you doing tomorrow? Because Judaism.
What's tomorrow? Oh, Sunday?
I was making a joke.
About what though?
Judaism.
Huh?
It sounds like todayism to me.
Okay. Anyway, so if I had to describe what God is in just a few sentences, I would say that he is the creator of all things. He is a jealous God. He wants no other gods before him. But he loves unendingly and what's the word? Without bounds, like unconditionally. And he is not anger. He is not uh he's not. This is harder than I thought. Um,
Would you like to press pause and take some time?
no, it's okay.
This is why I wanted to keep it from you, you know?
Yeah, so I guess going more towards why I believe. Um, because and the why I believe the way that I do also.
Remember, the original question was, why do you believe that there is a God?
Yeah.
Everything
So-
else, more or less, could be explained.
So one reason, and this isn't like the majority reason, it's just a very small reason, is because I grew up Christian. All my family were Christian. My grandparents on my dad's side, my grandparents on my mom's side, my mom and my dad most of the time.
Okay, so not to cut you off, and this is going to sound really, really like attackish. It is not meant to be that way.
Okay.
But what makes you think that that is correct? What makes you think the religion is real?
Well, yeah, I'm going to get to that. I'm just
Okay.
explaining my like how I was introduced to it.
And I realize that sounds very dickish. I don't mean it that way.
I will get to that. But that's just how I came to it. Is it didn't, a friend didn't bring it up to me. I didn't learn about it on my own. It was instilled in me at a very, very young age. We almost always went to church when I was a kid. But you know, the logical part of it is actually reading the Bible, is actually hearing sermons, actually hearing stories, and actually experiencing things. And you can talk about God and hear lectures about it all day long. You can hear it from your friends and everything all day long. You can read the Bible until the day that you die and still not experience God. I believe I have experienced God. And
Is it me?
I know, huh?
Am I God?
No.
Okay.
I know that people can hand wave away personal experiences to, you know, just being lonely and being depressed, and then having a light shined on you from a source of hope, any source of hope, and that can be God. Or feeling unloved and unwanted and feeling a source of love, and that can feel like God to people, and that's good and dandy. But there are a couple of very, very key moments in my life that I have experienced that have cemented in my mind this has to be real. And if it's not God himself that I think of when I think of God, then there has to be some sort of higher power. And that would be one, the culmination of everything that happened with my dad, which he
Was a piece of shit.
he would go from serving God to being an awful person, back and forth all the time. And he I won't even go into detail what kind of awful person he was, but at his
Pretty bad.
at his last moments, he was getting really sick with his diabetes and his liver and his kidneys, and he was in dialysis. And I had always heard that when you go out into the world and go back to God, you bring 7 demons with you from the world into your walk with God, and it becomes 7 times harder to go back. Do you understand what that means?
I'm still caught up on how he was taking dialysis and then he died.
Okay.
His die.
Alice's, yeah, I got it.
I thought that was funny.
Okay.
But yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Every time you go back to your faith, it becomes 7 times harder to not leave the faith, basically. And you know, he had gone back and forth so many times that I absolutely believe that. And the last straw, because I don't believe in unforgivable sin. I think that that type of a thing is very conditional. Like they say that if you deny the Lord, then that's blasphemy and that's unforgivable. I don't believe that's unforgivable. I believe you can do it maybe once, maybe twice. It's a very conditional thing. It's a case by case basis, I believe.
I would think if it is a god,
Mhm.
I would believe that, like, I would have to prove that I exist to. Do you see where I'm trying to go with this?
In a very strange kind of way, I kind of understand, I guess.
Because, like, I couldn't just, and that's part of the reason I was brought up Mormon, as many of you know,
Mhm.
and that was. I wish I could say that was the worst decision of my life, but that was just the worst part of my life.
Mhm.
Um, they're a fucking joke.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? I just started hating
Anyway,
on the fucking Mormons.
the last kind of straw, I guess, for my dad in the eyes of God, is which is what I see it as. Again, you can say that I'm crazy, that this is a coincidence, whatever, but
You're crazy.
I see it as God's last straw with my dad was when he, I don't remember exactly what started it, but the neighbor dude was over. He was really good friends with my dad, and I think what happened was that the day before he had just hung out with me and my mom before my dad got off of work or something like that, and then he found out, and um he got really mad and like told him off, and basically they were shouting and yelling at each other, and the neighbor guy had said something like, "This isn't very Christianly of you, screaming and yelling in front of your family and calling me names and swearing." And he said, "Well, maybe I'm not a very good Christian person." And he said, "So you're not Christian?" And he said, "No, I'm not. Basically get the fuck out of my house." And he did. And then the very next day, he was on the toilet wiping his ass, and he slipped and hit his head, and he had a seizure. And then after that, he wasn't the same. He slowly started losing his mind. He slowly started losing his facilities. Like he couldn't go by himself. He couldn't eat by himself. He couldn't shower himself. He started slowly slipping away, and then he finally um called an ambulance and told them to take him away. He didn't want to be. He wasn't like he didn't want to be in the house anymore. He didn't want to be taken care of anymore. So they put him over in an assisted living facility, and he died there. And again, that's just one experience, but
Does that technically count as assisted suicide?
no, well, not assisted. It was just suicide, because literally what happened was he had already gone through his protein quota for the week or something like that, because they're like, oh, you can only have so much red meat, you can only have so much bread, you can only have so much whatever. And he wanted a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and they said no, and he said, okay, I'll just starve myself to death. And that's what he did. He starved himself until he died, because they wouldn't give him a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I don't even like peanut butter all that much.
My dad did. My dad loved peanut butter, which is why I like it so much, probably. But I mean, that's just mark number one on the board of things that happened to me that has made me believe. Another one,
Wait, how does that make you believe?
because I believe that because this happened the very next day after he denied God, that, I mean, again, I had seen him his entire life go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, serving God and going back to the world and doing whatever he wanted to, and serving God and going back and serving God and going back so many times. And then him actually, because in the Bible it also says that you speak victory and death from your mouth. Whatever you say happens, which is why I kind of believe, not really in the Hindu aspect of manifesting, But I do believe that if you say something is going to happen enough, then it's going to happen, whether that thing is good or bad. And because I believe that, and because I witnessed him deny God before us, I do believe that had something to do with him smacking his head and slowly losing his mind and his capabilities.
I mean, to be fair, anyone could slip off the toilet
I know.
and smack their head. Like,
Again, you can call it a coincidence.
I'm not necessarily saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I do believe that had a direct influence on why that happened and when that happened.
I'm just saying that. I'm not saying it's a coincidence. I'm just saying it could happen to anyone at any time.
I guess this is a good time to bring up one aspect of how I believe. Like you said, God. I don't believe God is a guy in a cloud moving us around like chess pieces. I don't believe that. I believe that reality is a computer simulation. I believe that physics is the engine it runs on, and
Well,
God just hit enter and run.
If we're a computer simulation, my character needs an update. Because life fucking sucks.
Well, that's the thing, is that I believe that a lot of your, not all, I'm not one of those people that thinks that autism is demons. Okay. I believe that a lot of your mental state and a lot of your emotional state has to do with you.
Again.
And how you approach life.
Again, I need an update.
Okay.
To make all the ickies go away.
And when people would come to me or come to anybody and say, why does God let evil things happen? It's because, one, because he loves us enough to have free will to allow us to make bad things happen. And two, because he doesn't control everything. He allows things to happen. He may have his hand in front of a situation and tell the enemy, Satan, whoever, like, no, you can't touch the situation. Or he can be like, yeah, go ahead and do whatever you want. Or he could just be like, okay, I'm going to manipulate a tiny thing in the background, right? And so that this outcome can happen for this person. And I think that's a direct, like that's what prayer is for, so that the Lord may come and tweak something in the background or push something a little bit so that a desired outcome can happen. I believe that's what prayer is for.
It's funny that you bring that up. I was going to bring it up later on in the episode, but I guess we're doing it now. With the shit that I have seen and the shit that I have been through in my life, whether I was a part of religion or not, I cannot believe there is a God. I just can't. If he supposedly loves us the way people claim, he wouldn't have put people through all this different shit.
I have a perfect counter to that. Would you like to hear?
Sure. I can't promise my counter won't be a punch.
Okay. So funnily enough, I saw this from a comedy creator off of TikTok that also believes in God, and this was a little skit that he did that opened my eyes to this. It does say in the Bible that, you know, in order to have free will, we must know good and we must know evil, so that we may have the free will to choose good or evil. And I believe that's true, because otherwise you would only be able to choose good, right? It's not really free will, is it? What do you think about that? Like, this isn't my full thought on the subject, but what do you think about that? In order to have free will, you must have knowledge of good and evil.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't have anything nice to say.
Okay.
Carry on.
Okay. And the reason why the Lord made it that way is because if we only knew good, then what's the point of us? We would just be angels that like carries out the Lord's orders. There would be no communion. There would be no, yes, I do want to sit down and speak with you. There would be no uh uh I could be doing some other thing, but I am sacrificing my time to be with you. That's kind of the basis of love, is being able to put other things aside and choose to be with somebody or do something for somebody or do something with somebody instead of something else. Like, oh, I could be playing my video games, but actually, because I love this person so much, I'm going to forego that, and I'm going to go sit with them and watch a show with them because that's what they want to do. That's kind of one of the main tenets of love, is being able to sacrifice something for something else.
But if you truly love someone, it's not sacrifice because you enjoy spending time with that person.
No, it still is, because you could be doing another thing. But even if you do enjoy the sacrifice, it's still a sacrifice.
I don't think it would qualify as a sacrifice. I think it would be foregoing something, yes. But I do not think that it would qualify as a sacrifice, because if you love someone and they want you to watch this show or whatever, you're going to go and spend time with your loved one.
I can kind of see where you're coming from.
That's kind of a given, unless you're a piece of shit, which a lot of girls go for.
But that's
Nick.
That's what?
I was calling you a piece of shit.
Okay. But that's something that I actually
Or
have
a girl,
struggled.
one of the two.
That's something that I've struggled with in my life before, is seeing my family and hearing that they love me, but feeling like, but you have to, you're my family, and wanting love outside of that. That's something that I've struggled with before. And I think that's a huge part of loving someone, is knowing that you don't have to, but doing it anyway. And that's why God made us, because again, angels just carry out his orders, and that's not love, that's not communion, that's not cherishing, that's making soldiering. Exactly. We have that ability because we know of good and evil, because we know that we can or don't have to do something, so that we can choose to set aside time to read the Bible, or we can choose to set aside time to meditate on God, or to pray, or to have communion with the Lord, or have communion with other Christians and talk about the Lord. We can choose to do those things, or we can choose to drink and party and do drugs and do whatever else.
I choose the second one.
Right.
That one just sounds more fun. Minus the drugs.
But the whole why does God let evil things happen is that's a part of it, is because the Lord loves us enough to have free will. And if the Lord were to destroy all evil, he would destroy free will. And what he said, what this TikTok creator said, that kind of hit really hard to me, is that he said, are you the best steward of your time? Are you the best steward of your own money to be as charitable as I have called you to be? What makes you think that if I were to destroy all evil, I would not start with you? Because at the very core of all of us, we are evil human beings. All of us. We all have the capacity to do evil. We all do evil things on accident or on purpose. We all fall short of the glory of God. None of us on our own can make it to heaven.
Well, I welcome to destroy me. Because I'm evil in and out. Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how...
I can give you another experience that makes me believe God is real. Because really all I really have is my upbringing, the logic that I found in studying the Bible and things of God, and my experiences. Because that's really all that I have. Other than that, I cannot tell you that God is real. Because, again, I don't know if he is or not. Even as a Christian who does believe God is real, I don't know that he is. Because that's kind of the whole point of faith. Is that you don't know for sure. That you have this collection of years of experience and knowledge and studying and experiences, but that doesn't give you 100% concrete proof, and you never will until you die. That's what faith is. I have my faith, and that's all that I can share with you. Because again, one more time, I don't know if God is real. I don't. But I believe that he does, because the majority of the evidence that I have for it is within my faith. If that makes sense at all.
I like pancakes.
Yeah. This was your topic, man.
I know, but you lost me somewhere during that spiel of, is God real? Is God not real? And
so if you were to ask me, is God real? I would tell you I don't know, but I believe he is.
And that's why I didn't ask the question, is he real? I asked, how do you believe that God is sitting on a cloud, a giant dude sitting on a cloud, pushing little cars around?
So,
and you said that you don't necessarily believe that representation.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the original base question.
Okay. Yeah, so I believe that heaven is a real place. I believe that there is an actual mercy seat, which is the throne that God sits upon, God the Father. I do believe that Jesus is at his right hand, I believe. And I believe that God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit are three and one. They are both one entity and three. And that doesn't make sense. It absolutely doesn't make sense.
Okay, so it's not just me.
No.
Okay.
But it also says in the Bible that his thoughts are so much higher than my thoughts, and that I could never understand the true mind of the Father. So that, I mean, again, it doesn't make logical sense, but I have faith that the Bible is the true word of God, and everything in it is true, and somehow that has to make sense.
Okay, so I
do believe that there is an inner court of his kingdom, and that's where he resides, that it's an actual physical place, like an actual like throne room, because it does say in Revelations that all these different things happen before the face of God, all the scrolls opening and stuff like that. So I would imagine that happens in the courtroom, and that, you know, only one person has ever seen the face of God, and that was Moses, and he radiantly shined like a light from seeing his face or actually no, I think I think God was facing away from him, because if he had actually seen his face, that he would have died, because holiness and sin cannot mix. Like true, pure, sanctified holiness cannot touch sin, which is why he needed Jesus to die, so that his son's blood could be over us, so that he could interact with us. And I'm sure that didn't make any sense at all.
No, it actually made more sense than you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the sacrifice was. So that
basically God sacrificed his son to do the protect.
Yeah, so
but
before
the way I see it is he sent his son down here to, is it the Virgin Mary and
Joseph?
I was going to say Ezekiel.
No, it's Joseph.
Okay, so it's the same in Christianity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he had to have a virgin birth, because if you're born of man, you inherit your ancestral sins, which is why whenever we're born, we can say that a baby is pure and that it doesn't know right from wrong. But in the eyes of God, even a baby has sin. It has its ancestral sin. But just a side tangent, if you were wondering, if a baby were to die and being still innocent, it wouldn't go to hell. I believe it wouldn't go to hell, because that sin that was placed on the baby by its ancestors would go to the ancestors that are already dead. those sins that were placed upon the baby. Like that's what, like, kind of original sin. That's part of it. But anyway, that's why he had to be born of a virgin, of just the mother, so that he wouldn't inherit those sins, so that when he died on the cross, he could be sinless.
If he was born by a virgin, birthed by a virgin, whatever the phrasing is, in that aspect, he would still get the sin of the ancestors.
Unless because it's passed down by the father's seed. That's the give and take of the apple. That's why the sin is put on the man. That's his burden. But the physical burden is put on the woman because she actually physically bit the apple.
I don't want pizza.
Okay.
I don't know why you talking about an apple made me think of pizza, but anyways, again, like it just doesn't make sense to me that if you're going to take sin from one ancestry side, you wouldn't take it from the other, you know? Or like try to find some medium ground. Or here's a thought, not do it at all. Let them have their free choice.
Well, that's part of free choice, is asking the Lord to forgive you of your ancestral sins.
Being given a sin from fucking great-great-great-grandfather Oompa Loompa over there, you know. Don't ask me why he's named Oompa Loompa. He looks like a blueberry.
Well, here's something that might make it a little bit better in your mind, maybe, is that I believe that when non-believers, okay, maybe not non-believers, but people who have heard the gospel and know of God and have had the choice to choose, when they die, they're judged whether they chose or not, right? But when people die who have never heard the gospel, never heard the name of Jesus, don't know what the hell a Bible even is, when they die, I don't believe they go to heaven or hell. I believe that's what purgatory is. That's where they go to wait until the last days. Because it says that in the end, all will be judged, all will be given the choice. So I believe that people who have never heard the word of God, when they die, they go to purgatory, and then when the final days come, they're all gathered up and they're all proselytized to. They're all evangelized to. They're all given a choice then and there. And if they choose yes, they go up. If they choose no, then they go down. Does that kind of make it better? Because when I heard that and when I kind of researched that kind of like, oh, that kind of makes sense actually. Like that actually answered a couple of my questions.
Honestly, that just seems, trying to choose my wording carefully because I don't want to seem like I'm attacking you.
Yeah.
That just seems redundant to me.
Redundant?
Is that a good word? Is that like not attackish?
Yeah, that's a good word. I think that's why it's done that way. It's because it says somewhere in the Bible, and this is a paraphrase because I haven't done much research into this aspect, but it's like that's why the Lord told the apostles to go out and spread the word of God, so that every ear may hear and that every tongue may confess. Is because so that everybody has a choice, so that everybody knows and everybody can make their choice. I honestly think that if everybody on earth knew about the Bible, had the choice to read the Bible or not, knew about God, knew about Jesus and all that good stuff, I really don't think that we would be that the world would be the way that it is. Not that it would be all sunshines and rainbows or anything like that.
Oh,
but I mean it would basically the end times would come a lot quicker. I really do think that, because the end times happen so that all the sin of the world can be purged and that the heaven can come down on earth. You know what I mean?
No.
No.
You lost me a
Okay.
long time ago.
Okay. Well, this was your topic.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I have to understand it all.
Okay, that's fine. But the main thing.
But okay, so I'm gonna throw another thing at you,
Okay,
not
sure.
to cut you off,
Sure,
but how do you know that some dude didn't spend hours carving out the scriptures
Mm-hmm.
for the Bible
Mm-hmm.
from the Bible
Mm-hmm.
and running from the devil?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know some dude didn't, or even woman, didn't just go and carve these writings and then go and find them, or like hide them and then have someone else find them, or you know,
There is
like
actual physical concrete evidence of why the Bible is well, okay, like 90% concrete evidence, provable fact, that the Bible is what it says
do
it is.
share.
So the whole concrete evidence thing is the 10% that isn't concrete is you have to believe that Jesus is who he said he was. If you don't believe that, then none of it matters. But
Well,
if you do,
what I'm saying is, how do you know that the entire thing wasn't faked, and then
that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
everybody believed it and it just kind of got out of hand?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. If you believe that Jesus was who he said he was, you can obviously take him at his word. And Jesus took the Torah, which is the first half of the Bible, the Old Testament, and he said, this is the word of God. So if you believe that he was the Son of God, obviously you believe every word that he says. And if he says that every word in the Torah is the word of God, then everything that came before Jesus and everything that came after Jesus that was part of the Bible is real. Other than that, we have historical, manuscripts and stuff that were written in the original Aramaic and the original Hebrew that date back to those times. Like, yes, this was written during this time, and it was written by this tribe or that tribe or whatever that was passed around for ages, and these different artifacts that were like, oh, this chiseling in this wall tells about the Torah, and if this is real, then obviously this correlates. You know what I mean? There are just other historical, actually dated. Like a really good thing that actually just recently happened was the Shroud of Turin, I think is what it's called. It is a piece of cloth that they believe wrapped Jesus's physical body when he died. They have this cloth and it has this imprint of a man that has holes in his hands and his feet, who has scars, like thatched scars from the crown of thorn that he wore. And, the facial structure will look like a brown Middle Eastern man who could have lived in that area at that time. They carbon dated it and did a whole bunch of different testings and stuff. And they're like, yes, this was from this historical gravesite. Yes, this was from that time period. Yes, this was the same kind of cloth and stuff that the Romans would use to wrap the dead in. And yes, this is like the whole skeletal structure and muscle structure of the imprint of this image that's on this cloth, like, correlates to what a brown Middle Eastern man would look like in those times. So this is like 90%, we are 90% sure that this is actually the cloth that Jesus Christ himself was wrapped in. There are hundreds of millions of tests, hundreds of millions of things that correlate to hundreds of millions of other things to kind of correlate to, yes, the Bible was written by these people during this time and depicts these things happening.
But the way I see it, faith can influence a lot of things. That's kind of the whole point of faith, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So isn't it possible that faith corrupts perception?
In regards to what? Historical documents and stuff?
Just general speaking.
It's possible, but
Like, for
these
example,
scientists that discovered the Shrouded Turin and these scientists that do these carbon dating on these on these historical documents and other things, not all of them are Christians and not all of them are Jews, not all of them believe. And even those people who claim to be atheists or polytheists or whatever concur that these things are what they are.
I don't know, it just seems like there's a lot of room, especially from the actual scripture
Mhm.
era.
Mhm.
Like, I'll give the sheet or cloth, whatever you call it.
Mhm.
I'll give that one to you.
Mhm.
It's very hard to dispute that.
Mhm.
But I still find it very hard to believe that poof, rock.
Rock?
Yeah.
What do you mean rock?
Like the stone.
Oh, like the Ten Commandments? Or what are you talking about?
I just realized we might have been talking about the thing that I was not thinking of, the thing that do.
Okay.
What was the thing that where they wrote on rocks? Or like rocks were written on?
Chiseling?
The
The concept of chiseling into rock?
no. I'm asking, like, what event?
They did that to communicate with each other all the time back in, like, God knows when. I don't...
No. What event in the Bible had the big rocks?
I mean, I think you're talking about the Ten Commandments, because those were chiseled on stone tablets.
Okay, and how was Bible written?
A multitude of different ways. I'm sure they used ink and parchment. I'm sure they used chiseled wall slabs. I'm sure they used actual like ink pens on actual paper. I'm sure the Bible was written across like almost 1,500 years, maybe 2,000 years.
So that
Like the first book of the Bible was written in like 600 BC or something like that, and the last book of the Bible was written in like 600 AD. Something like that. I don't know the exact times or whatever, but it was a very, very long, arduous process.
so how do you know from this huge, long, drawn out period
Mm-hmm.
that some of the information is not correct?
I don't.
I'm not going to sit here and say the entire Bible is incorrect, because that's not fair.
Yeah.
But how can you sit there and tell me that some of it is inaccurate or not inaccurate?
I can't, because I'm sure a lot of it is. As a matter of fact, I'm sure I know for a fact that there are books in the Bible that have been completely and totally been written out, and some that have been completely and totally added. I don't know which ones they are. There's the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is a section of the Bible that we just found in like the 1800s. That most likely the Catholic Church in the 1500s tried to do away with and get rid of and make disappear. I think that's what happened. And there are also parts of the Bible that have probably been forgotten, and they're like, oh, let's write that down again. And then they probably left some stuff out, and they probably added some stuff. And the Bible is basically journals from like 100 different men from 100 different time periods. Probably. That's all it is. So I cannot tell you that the Bible that I can pull out on in my phone is not one for one the same Bible that Jesus read himself. I absolutely can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is that it is a very close approximation. Whatever works have been removed or added have been carefully studied, and there have been Bibles that are like, this is the chronological Bible, everything that happened in order of time. This is the Bible with every single book that has been removed. This is the Bible with every single book that has been added. This is the Bible with this, that, and the other altered or whatever, and it says that on the cover. There are also study Bibles that say like, hey, this is what this word meant in the original Aramaic. This is what the same word meant in Hebrew. And this is what it means in Italian or Roman or whatever the Romans spoke. I don't remember, but
Romanish.
sure. So this one single word could have 3 different meanings. So there are Bibles that account for like, oh, this is probably everything that the Bible has ever contained, or this is probably what this, that, and the other word in the Bible means. And it's very, very, I mean, there's an entire school of study that goes over the different translations and different edits and different things that could or could not have been in the Bible at one point of time or not. So the Bible that I can pull up right now on my phone, absolutely 100% is not the same Bible that Jesus Christ himself read.
Yeah, because they didn't have phones back then.
Right.
But
Or the same Torah, whatever.
But what I think is going on, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this topic up so we can get to something a little bit more lighthearted.
Okay, I do want to just
Hang on.
summarize something before we move on.
Okay. What I think is happening here,
Mhm.
and it's not just one religion.
Mhm.
I think it's all established religions.
Mhm.
I think it's a lot like politics.
It can be.
There is a lot of curtain magic being played. I think really it's just like, for example, the Mormons. Fucking cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about other religions, but think about how big religion in general has gotten. Not just in the US, but in the entire fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, there's a lot of money involved. And then on top of that, there's the science or the study of religion, the study of the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure I'm forgetting shit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot to it. So it would stand to reason. Oh, and one final point. You don't think it's weird that they're constantly adding shit or removing shit to the Bible?
I don't know by what you mean by constantly, but
You don't think it's weird?
They have a lot in history. It absolutely is strange. Yes.
I
just think that's powerful people trying to manipulate people.
I think it's all about the money. That's all religion is, in my opinion. And again, that's not just your religion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's going on the higher levels of religion.
Which I think is absolute hypocrisy, because Jesus literally flipped tables and whipped people with a leather whip for selling things inside of his house. Like inside of the temple.
Well, that's what...
Making profit in the name of God is absolute hypocrisy and probably blasphemy.
Mormons.
Yeah.
Not to name names, but Mormons.
Yeah. The church. And a lot of people in the church. Not all Mormons, but you know what I mean.
I just think, especially on the higher levels, it's all just a financial game.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Going to school for whatever religious related study. Mm-hmm. You get money from that. Um, then there's the sale of the Bible, which brand new. How much does a Bible cost?
Depends on where you get it. You can absolutely get it for free, depending on where you look.
Okay, but on average,
I mean, if you were to go to a bookstore and try and buy a Bible that way, probably about $20-$30.
so 100 people buy a Bible for $20-$30. That's $2,000.
$2,000 or $3,000, yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3,000. I did a math.
Yeah, good job.
Go me. It's your birthday. Now attribute that to a couple million people.
Yeah.
The numbers get ridiculous real fucking quick.
Yeah.
I would say that the religion game is far more successful than the political game.
Mhm.
And that's sad to say because the political game is pretty financially successful.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways.
If I were to sum up my faith in a couple of words, I would just say that I believe that God is the manifestation of love. And everything that God does is for love. He has to, it's just like a father-son relationship. If you do something bad, your dad has to, what's the word? Not punish, but like
Scold.
Parent, to punish, to
Scold.
discipline. A parent has to discipline their child for doing something wrong, because if they don't, they will never learn and they will never grow up. And because they discipline their child, they love them. Because if they didn't love them, they would let them be awful. Right? So whatever punishment, whatever discipline, whatever anything that the Lord throws your way, that is also love. I believe that to the core of my being. Every fiber of my being believes that. Absolutely.
I'm gonna just let you believe that. But I absolutely do not, and I have to piss. So,
Okay.
Finish up your thoughts, and then hit pause.
I really wish you wouldn't make jokes and stuff like that while we're having a serious conversation. But you know what? No, we're just gonna wait until he gets out. So Morgan is back from his piss. Yeah, Mike. So you had something to say about the discipline thing?
Scold.
Scold.
I was trying to help you find the word.
No, you laughed and you said you don't believe that and you had something to say.
Yeah, I said I'm just gonna let you believe that everything happens for a reason, basically.
I don't believe that. Most things do happen for a reason, not everything. Because it does say in the Bible when it rains on the poor man and the rich man. Sometimes things just happen for no reason at all. I believe both.
Yeah, well,
Like if you were to get cancer tomorrow, I'm not going to blame that on your sin. I'm just going to say, yeah, man, things just happen sometimes. I'm sorry. I know that there are some evangelical Christians out there that are like, oh, you have type 1 diabetes or whatever, well, you must have done something to deserve that. Or, oh, you have cervical cancer, oh, you must be a whore, you probably did something to deserve that. I don't believe that at all. Sometimes things do happen for an absolute reason. Sometimes things just fucking happen, man.
Well, neither of those reasons, I almost said excuses,
Okay.
really help me much now, do they?
I never claimed that they would help you. If you need help, we can talk about a specific problem you're having and we can
It's
go
not
through it.
a problem I'm currently having.
I think I know what you're talking about.
2, actually.
Well, one of them, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
We
so
can go over that off camera if you want, but I mean,
some things just cannot be helped by almost everything happens for a reason, or shit just fucking happens. That doesn't answer questions.
well, there wasn't a question levied at me. I just was saying.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Okay. Those statements weren't trying to help you with anything.
I know, I'm just saying in relation, it doesn't help with everything.
Yeah.
I would argue that it helps with maybe 60%.
Okay.
And I feel that is more than fair
Yeah.
to give that percentage. Anyways, moving on. Do you have anything more lighthearted to talk about?
Trump wants to make Guantanamo Bay a concentration camp for immigrants. He wants the facility, which can only at its maximum hold about 800 to 900 people. He wants to put 30,000 people there.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
No.
Because that crosses the line from being just illegal to human rights violations.
Yeah. He was like, if Obama can waterboard sand N-words there, then I can house Mexicans there. Which, no, not that many at least. Like
2, maybe.
2, if they're really fat.
So I was at Maverick earlier today, and By
the way, very good topic. Congratulations, you got a lot out of me. I didn't trust you, but you did a good.
it was difficult
Bitch.
to.
Anyway, you were at Maverick.
Yes. And I turned around to fill my cup up, right? At the ice the machine. What's it called?
The ice machine?
No, the
Soda fountain?
yeah, fountain.
Okay.
I couldn't think of that word.
Fountain.
And when I turned it back around, a shitload. I'm not kidding, by the way. There was like fucking 20 Mexicans that just walked into the fucking Maverick. And for whatever reason, my first thought was someone called the Beaner Brigade.
As a quarter beaner, I approve that joke.
A Beaner approves.
No, probably what happened was, and I'm not being racist. This is true. I've seen the people there. The construction site that's just kitty corner from Maverick. They probably had a lunch break, just walked over.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Except for this was like 10 in the morning.
Well, I don't know what time they start construction. They start pretty early. I know that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ow.
But it was also like I was super mad at myself because I was like, why was that my first thought?
Yeah. It was kind of funny. We went to Jack in the Box, and there was just a Hispanic girl working there, and she's like, "Welcome to Jack in the Box. How can I help you? You like the fajita? I got the fajita. A boba tea? You like the milk boba tea? Okay, I got the milk boba tea." And as we were pulling up to the window, I was just trying to crack a joke, and I was like, "These filthy fucking immigrants need to get out of my Jack in the Box." And my wife was like, "Oh my fucking god!" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You can't say that. I'm like, it's a joke. She says, in Trump's America, you cannot be making jokes like that. And I thought, I'm like, no, she's right. That's pretty fucked up. Like a month ago, I probably could have, but
Yeah. Like, even I probably wouldn't go. Actually, I would.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you would. Let me think.
Beaner Brigade.
That's awful.
That needs to be a
I'm
shirt.
An hour 15. No.
Yes.
Wait, have like a tortilla just flat, and then a bunch of like little black beans jumping into the fold of the tortilla.
Why?
We're not doing that, by the way.
I was thinking like a bunch of brown, like, obviously construction worker people,
Okay.
and then it just Beaner Brigade.
Well, we're at an hour and 15. You want to just wrap it up here?
No, I want to end on something lighter.
Lighter?
Yeah. Which is kind of a problem because you're the lightest one in here.
What?
Mr. Jim.
Gym?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been to the gym in a while. Ever since my booty problems have been bad, I haven't wanted to like exert myself and then accidentally shit myself. So I haven't been to the gym in a while. I've been waiting until this shit's cleared up, and it just hasn't.
You're still lighter than me.
Okay. How much do you weigh?
Too much.
Do you know?
Too something.
Well, yeah, me too. I think the last time I got weighed, I was like 235.
I'm low 200s.
Okay. So, I mean, just because you're shorter than me, you might not weigh as much as I do. You might be lighter than me.
I was making a joke because of the gym.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Jim.
I know.
Jim.
Okay.
Jim.
That reminds me. One time my ex-father-in-law, he asked if my grandfather, went to Vietnam, because I guess my ex-father-in-law was, a helicopter gunner in a, medic.
Huey.
Huey. And he just wanted to know. I'm like, no, he didn't go. I was like, oh, is he a draft dodger? And I'm like, no, he already had a kid by the time the draft rolled around. My uncle was already born, so they didn't make him go. He's like, oh, no, sounds like draft dodger behavior to me. I'm like, okay, just because my grandpa's brown. Like he's not just like light brown like I am, or a little bit darker than. No, he's like pretty dark. My grandpa could be, if he didn't have like the facial structure of a Hispanic man, he would probably, you might be able to from a distance think that he might be black.
Damn.
Which is funny because he's racist against blacks.
When I wake up in the morning, I almost shoot myself. When I look in the mirror.
Like he's like that, like a cocoa type of brown. Like you can definitely tell like up close that he's Hispanic and not black, but like from a distance you might think that he's black.
I feel like the first time, if I ever meet him, it would literally just be, holy shit, you are dark.
It's actually funny because for our wedding, that was the first time that most of my wife's family had ever met any of my other family besides my mom. And her uncle came up to me and was all like, he actually said wetback. I thought it was Beaner for a second, but no, he's like, who's that wetback over there? And I'm like, that's my grandpa. He's like, your grandpa? I'm like, yes. And he's just like, that's your grandpa? And I'm like, truth be told, he's my step grandpa, but like, yeah, that's my grandpa. He goes, oh, okay, I understand. And I told him his last name, which is a Hispanic last name. He's like, he's not black? I'm like, no, he's not. And he's like, oh. He's like, who's the little black man?
Quick, hide the watermelon and the
We-
fried chicken.
Yeah, we actually did have fried chicken for our wedding. We had like a potluck and had a couple of different like main dishes, but fried chicken was one of them. We had hamburgers, fried chicken, couple of different pastas. We had lasagna. That was pretty good.
You didn't invite me? How dare you?
I didn't know you at the time, brother.
That was the joke.
I think I started working here literally the October after we got married, because we got married in March. No, May. Yeah, it was May.
You dodged a bullet. I was like, you got married in my birth month and didn't invite me? Because you didn't know me?
Yeah.
That is such a lame excuse.
June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, 5 months after I got married, I started working at the company.
Were you working at the internet company before that? Or was it Wendy's?
No, Wendy's is way before I even met my current wife.
Who's
no,
awesome, by the way.
At the time, I was just doing Walmart and DoorDash. Because I got fired way before we got married, like a year or two before we got married.
From internet?
Yeah. I was just doing Walmart grocery delivery and DoorDash at the time.
Oh yeah, you got fired because
Actually,
you were being made do manager stuff, but not manager pay. Yeah.
well, because I was disparaging the company.
You were what?
Disparaging the company, talk shit.
I mean, I talked shit too.
Yeah. But I was in a position of power, and I should have known better. Because the other two, because usually, like I think I've said before, at 7:00, the main manager went home, and at 8:00, between 8 and 9:00, the shift manager left, which left me in charge. So I was in charge between the hours of 9 and 12, or 11:30. I think most nights was 11:30. We hardly ever went past 12. And basically all I did was sit there and take calls if I needed to. Most nights it was pretty slow, so usually I didn't need to. And take care of issues when they arised with customers that called in, because we were tech support. But at the time, they were doing fiber in Utah, which it's an Idaho-based company. So I'm like, why are they doing fiber in fucking Utah?
Right?
And they were supposed to get over 2,000 customers hooked up within a certain amount of time, and by that time they only had like 8 or 900 people hooked up with fiber, and they only had a month to go. So I was talking shit. I was like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna fucking do it, and why are they even in Utah anyway? And we've had nothing but fucking problems with customers out of Utah. We've had like 2 people who would call in and fucking harass us, like day in and day out. Like literally they would call 5 or 6 times a day just to harass us, like, when's the internet up, what, the internet's not up yet. And we've just had nothing but problems, and I was talking shit, and so are the other 2 or 3 people under my watch. They were talking shit too, and they were like, yeah, you were in a position of power, you should have known better, you should have stopped it at its head. And I'm like, but
freedom of speech, motherfucker.
I was like, but it's true. Everything we said was true.
Yeah.
And they fired me. So I'm like, yeah, fuck this, whatever.
So you had the managerial duties without the pay.
Basically. And I'm sure it was only because it was at that time of night, and I only had 2 or 3 people under me. Well, 2 physical people, and then a third person in the Idaho Falls office who was like talking in the work chat and still taking calls up there. So technically 3 people under my watch, and they're probably like, that's small potatoes, he doesn't need a pay raise.
I actually am pretty sure that would require legally a pay raise. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. I would have to look into that.
Yeah, well, it was like, what, 3-4 years now ago?
I know, but it's crazy to me.
I was making good money too. I was getting at the end there, I was getting either 12.50 or $13 an hour, which I'm only making 10.75 right now. So, but then again, my wife has mentioned on multiple occasions that I don't come home grumpy now, so it's better for my mental health.
Yeah, because you get all your grump out here.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Alex.
No, you said her name before. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out, Alex does a YouTubes. That is my wife. She does Sims content.
Check her out, or don't. I'm not your mother.
She's gotten 1.4 thousand views on one of her videos. Last time I checked.
She should be shouting us out.
I know.
Does she?
No. I've asked her to once, and she's like, "Oh, I'll do it," and then she doesn't. It's fine. She doesn't even watch us. She's like, "Well, sometimes I'll watch a little bit here and there, but sometimes you guys are super cringe, and I don't want to watch."
That hurts.
A little bit, but I mean, it's still true. The truth hurts.
We're not cringe. We're retarded.
We're cringe. Anyway, we're almost at an hour and a half. That's a pretty light note to leave on. Me getting fired.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out. It worked out in the end, so it's fine.
Yeah, because you met my dumbass, and now we have.
Man, I had so much fuck off money when I was working there. I had so much fuck off money. I got a fucking lightsaber, a stunt lightsaber with that money. That was like $300.
The little, like, plastic ones?
No, a stunt lightsaber, a metal one, like a heavy duty metal one with the polyurethane blade that's got like a tiny little bit of bend to it, but it's still pretty stiff. And it's got like programmable sound fonts. You can literally take the sound chip out and reprogram it to have different sound fonts and stuff.
Fuck!
And yeah, they're really cool. I can bring it one of these days just to show you.
You still have it?
Of course I still fucking have it. As a matter of fact, I even bought like these little leather sheets like this big to make like a little grippy, because you know in Star Wars they customize their lightsaber hilts, and sometimes they wrap like leather around it, or like just have like cloth to signify that it's like your left lightsaber, your right lightsaber, or whatever. And I just got some leather and just made this like little, almost like a vest to crisscross it, because it's hard cold metal, so it helps with the grip. I'll bring it one of these days.
I'm having so much trouble picturing this.
I'll bring it tomorrow.
Because
if I can remember.
I have only ever seen the plastic ones that you put like.
Yeah, no, it's.
And then you beat the shit out of your friends.
So like a normal like generic type of looking lightsaber, a stunt lightsaber will run you between $100 and $300. I went for the little bit higher end one. The ones that doesn't sound like shit. But if you want one that's like a recreation of like Anakin's lightsaber or Darth Vader's lightsaber, those can run you up to $1,000.
Man, people be making bank off the nerd shit.
Like literally, there's Darth Maul. His is a double-sided lightsaber,
yeah.
So it's like a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Those are on average are about $600 to $700, but the really nice ones that you can actually mess with the knobs and turn the brightness down and up and mess with the settings, the sound settings and everything. Those can run you like almost like $1,500. Yeah. I really want Count Dooku's because his is a curved hilt and it's really cool.
Maybe we should start selling lightsabers.
No. But yeah, that's the show. Thank you everybody for coming and listening to me Jesus ramble, and also Poopy ramble, and also Morgan frustrate the fuck out of me.
If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Check out the Patreon. We do movie reviews over there. Check out the Redbubble. There's some fantastical stuff over there. Our co-host Nick here goes absolutely batshit insane with the designs.
I haven't done a
And
new one in a while. I probably should.
check out the Lizards with the Most playlist.
Hopefully that's a thing by the time this goes up.
Oh, it's not yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, I didn't know that. My bad.
It's okay.
But yeah, be sure to check if that's there. Check out my Tech Talk playlist where we tear shit apart. We learn about shit.
You.
Oh, yes, I. Well, I was meaning we as me and the viewers.
Oh, okay.
You're not included in everything. You're not that special. We try to fix some shit, but we fail miserably because I'm a fucking dumbass. Yay.
Donate to the Cash App if you want to donate, and not if you don't want to do the Patreon stuff. Any and all funds through that will go back into making the channel better and promoting things and stuff like that, which I just promoted a video, my first video promotion. I've done promotion on TikTok. That did all right. I did promotion on Twitter. That did horribly. Never doing that again.
Thanks, Elon.
Yeah, I was literally, yeah.
What, did we really just do that?
Yeah. Anyway, dogs are going fucking ballistic. Join us next time when
I try to suck my toes. Bye.
Bye.